Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I have been in fragrance mode the past few months. It's been one of those things where, as many of you know, I went to culinary school where you were not allowed to wear fragrance. I worked in hospitality for a very long time, and when you're working in a restaurant, you want to smell neutral. So other than deodorant and whatever you wash your clothing in, like clean linen, laundry detergent, whatever, we were encouraged not to smell like anything. So because of that, for many years, I did not wear a ton of fragrance. And I've been in the past, I want to say, year or so, getting back into wearing fragrance every day. It even got to the point where on the days where I would get changed and hang around the house, I would still put on a fragrance because to me it was like, treat yourself, smell good. Lately, I have been super into fragrance again. Every single day I'm playing around with layering. So I have grabbed my 6 top favorite fragrances right now. I will be honest and say that I have a whole collection, and there are days where I grab from other things, but these are the ones that I find myself most regularly gravitating towards. So if that's something you're into, make sure to keep on watching, and don't forget to subscribe because I upload every other day, and that'll be the best way to stay up to date on all the fun stuff I'm posting. So if you want to jump into my fragrance picks of my current favorites, stay tuned. All right, I do want to preface this with one of these I purchased myself. The rest of them were all sent in PR, but none of this is sponsored. So there's a mixture here of some men's, some women's, some unisex, but I find that they all work on a very large assortment of people. And I am going with the fragrance, not the gender that it says it's supposed to be for, because there are days where I want to smell floral or fruity, and there are days I want musky vanilla, and I'm going to talk about all of these. So I will also have a description box link down below of all of these fragrances plus some more of my collection. So if you want to get a little bit of a closer look at them, you can see them down there. First and foremost, I'm going to start with Valentino. They sent me over, this is the Eau de Parfum Intense Donna. So this is meant for women, and this is the Uomo, which in theory is made for men. When I read the description, it actually said that they're both unisex, which I would absolutely agree with. They are beautiful. I actually like the way they layer together, but they are beautiful for very different reasons. So this is the Donna Intense. It's definitely more of that sweet but gourmand. It definitely has that base note where it's a little muskier, a little spicier, but it's a much lighter fragrance. I'll wear this on a day like today when Brandon and I are going out and I did my makeup very soft and effortless. I'm going to be very casual. I will put this on because to me this is old Hollywood, but with that sophisticated musky twist. And typically when I wear that one, Brandon wears this one. So this one is a lot muskier. Definitely, I would call this sexy. You walk into a bar and that guy in the corner, tall, dark, and handsome by the jukebox, whatever, he's wearing this. Brandon loves this one. I was going to say probably the most out of all of the ones here, but there's one here that he actually wears more, and I'll talk about that one next. But this is in rotation with his top 2 to the point where we don't like wearing the same fragrance, not because there's anything wrong with us smelling the same, but when you're dating somebody who has a similar taste in fragrance, it's very frequent that I'll walk in to the bathroom to put on my fragrance and I'll be like, hey, what are you wearing? And it's the bottle I'm going to pick up. So this is one that's constantly on him. If he's not wearing this, he is wearing Nuit de l'Homme by YSL. Now this fragrance, this is the one here that I purchased. I got this as a gift, I want to say 10 or 11 years ago, maybe 12 years ago when I was in college. And I have used and repurchased this since I tried it all those years ago, 3 times. This is not my first bottle, but this one I did purchase myself. I would say that if I had to say I had a signature scent, it would be this, because for so many years, this is what I was wearing. It's definitely a, cologne and not a perfume. But I do find that it wears really beautifully on anybody. I mean, I could say that about all of the ones here. It's definitely more of a woodsy versus a musky type of fragrance. I do find that I tend to be more gravitated towards those musks, but this one is much woodier and it has a little bit of that like refined, whereas this musky, beautiful, magical fragrance is a little bit on the like rugged, sexy. I will say, despite the fact that this is woodsy instead of musky, this one feels super refined, super polished. Like, if I had to look at the two of these, this to me is like leather jacket, let's go out for a drink. This is like I'm in my tuxedo and we're going to a wedding. Like, very different vibes, very different fragrances, but both of them are so good. The next one is from a brand that actually recently launched. It is called 5 Cents. Now, they sent me 3 different fragrances, and I've been playing around with the 3 that they sent me. I've been layering with them, I've been playing with them together. I am a big fan of all 3, but I will say this is the one I find myself grabbing for the most. It's called Burn For You. The notes are cashmere musk and Madagascar vanilla. It is so beautiful, and I think what I like most about these fragrances is they last so long on the body, especially like I can put it on when I get out of the shower in the morning, and I will still get whiffs of it when I like move at some point throughout the day. Now, what I like most about them is that they are layering fragrances, in my opinion. So, like, I have worn this under all of the ones we've spoken about today, and I find that it just adds a little bit more complexity to fragrance. There's a big trend going around on TikTok right now called overspraying, where people are like, I'm going to grab a face mist, but like they are spraying everything and spraying more, and I'll do it with a face mist. I'm not doing that with a perfume. But it's one of those things where they're putting on a lot because they want it to last, and to me that gets a little overpowering. The way that I get my fragrance to last longer throughout the day, there's 2 tricks. The first is going to be the Vaseline or the oil trick, where you will take a tiny bit of like an oil or a Vaseline, add it to your high points where you want that fragrance to last, then you spray it on, the oil encapsulates the fragrance and it tends to last longer on the skin. Or you just layer your fragrances. So I will get out of the shower, grab one of these, and just give myself like 3 or 4 sprays before I get dressed. I will then get dressed, and I will then apply my other fragrance on top. And the way that it mixes with the skin and the fragrance and the way they blend together, it just becomes so much more nuanced than just pick up a bottle and spray. Now, I wanted to do a top 5, and the top 4 I just went through. I have 2 more to talk about because when I was like, all right, I only want to talk about 5, I could not pick which one of these belonged on the list more. The first one is going to be On a Date by the Replica Collection, Maison Margiela. I think this is such a beautiful fragrance. It's beautiful. I have the candle version of it in my bedroom that I like to burn at night reading a book or watching something on Netflix because I love the way this smells. I will say that on the body, I have to be in the mood for this. It is grapes and roses are the main 2 scents, and it definitely has that like fruity floral vibe going on. Absolutely stunning. Rose is one of those things that if I'm not in the mood for it, I don't want to wear it. And it is so luxurious that like I feel like every time I put it on, it's an experience. But I have to be in the mood for it. And the same thing goes for the next fragrance. And that's why these 2 are in this category. The other 4 I can put on any day. And these 2 I gotta be in the mood for. But I will find like there will be weeks where I will just wear one every single day. So it definitely takes some balance. The one that is tied with would be the Azzaro Most Wanted. This is again a men's fragrance. This one is like the right level of like musky fruity. Like it has this sweetness on the nose that's just, it's sultry. Brandon tells me that this one smells almost like cherry fruit snacks. I don't get cherry fruit snacks at all, but for some reason, like it's got that like sweet, fruity muskiness, and it definitely, like I do get some cherry in there. I gotta be in the mood for it. Like to me, this one is very playful. It also just looks, I mean, it's like a revolver barrel. This looks so pretty. I mean, you know me and a studded bottle. All of these look really pretty, like on display. But of all of them, I feel like this is the prettiest bottle when I'm looking at on the shelf, like just the amber tone. Although, I mean, who am I kidding? Pink and black studs will always be in. I take that back. All of these are beautiful, but this one, I just, for some reason, every time I pass it, I'm like, you know what? That is just a pretty and interesting bottle, and it is nice to look at. So these 2, both beautiful for different reasons. This, I mean, and they're polar opposite ends of the spectrum. You've got like They're both fruity, but you've got like floral and delicate versus like musky and sexy. Both great, but I have to be in the mood. Whereas if I'm going on a trip and I don't know what I'm feeling and like I need to pack a fragrance, I'm not packing either of these because I feel like if I'm not in the mood, I'm not going to want to wear it. But there will never be a day where like Brandon isn't in one of these and I'm not layering like something over this one in a weird, interesting way. Anyway, again, there's going to be a link in the description box with all of these, with prices and more descriptions and all of that. You can click the Shop My Shelf link, and that'll give you a little more information. Plus, in there, I've included some other favorites of mine. So I may not have talked about it today, but I might have talked about it on Instagram or in another post or in another video. I will keep doing these. If you guys want to see more of my collection, let me know, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.